Hey yo, welcome back to the Pac-Man special. I got my boy Sam Tululu. I'm just playing it's Sam Too over here. Sam, what'd you do today, man?
Played in the top 16 of the regional in Peoria
Okay,
for One Piece.
nice. And you giving me your deck profile exclusively. I love it. I love it.
Indeed, we ended up losing to the second place finalist on the Moby Dick Whitebeard. It was a good player, Tyler Green, but we lost there, but took it top 16, and we're just gonna go over the deck.
All right, let's dive in.
All right, so pretty standard, just law stuff. So I'll just go over like the easy stuff that is pretty standard. Some lists run only 3 Capones, but the extra blocker really important in most of the matchups, especially with how big things are getting right now. Just having the extra 1-drop blocker always good. 4 Jewelry Bonnery, Obby. So we got this Zoro. Big thing for this card was increasing the Straw Hat and Supernova count. Make sure that we actually connect with all of our searchers like Bonnie and Nami. So he was kind of just an extra fill slot. In hindsight, I think I actually like him. I'll get to another card that I may have wanted to swap. Another one of is an X-Drake. He was very good in certain matchups, but you don't want him in every matchup. So just one is fine. You can dig it for him with Bonnie. You can keep him or pitch him in the matchups you don't. But against like Dofi players, really good. Pretty useful against Whitebeard when they have the 4-drops tap, 4-drop 6Ks. Getting them out of the way, really easy with X-Drake feels great. Standard 4 law blockers. This guy's bread and butter of the deck. He is the best card. He is awesome. The starter law. Now here we got 4 super pre-release laws, which a certain Pac-Man gave me to borrow for the event. So this card is super important in the current meta. A lot of lists in the past were only running 1, 2, some none. This guy's a 4F for sure. Being able to get over Whitebeard's number and then actually being able to connect and go for lethal in the current format, this is really, really key. You will not be able to kill a lot of opponents if you don't have 4 of this card. Can't emphasize how important that card is.
And is that the green package basically?
Yep, and this is everything for our green package. Is we got top end and we got bottom end and nothing really in between.
Okay.
All right, and then coming over to some red cards, slide Mr. Law over. We still got our 2 jet pistols. This card's kind of fine. It's okay to not run this, but it does kind of fill up some slots of being able to answer stuff that sometimes the deck can have trouble with. Using it in combination with an Otama or double Otama. You can even kill like a Whitebeard or something. Be able to really, get something terrifying off the board. Next we got our man Gordon. This is just a 1-of. It is searchable off of Dodon, but this card is clutch. Just having the 1 being able to free up a space. Like sometimes with Law, you'll get your board where it's too cluttered and you want to play something else. But you don't want to just like kill one of your own characters and rip it up and play something new. Gordon's great for that. He'll really let you capitalize on board by being able to attack and then also shrink something. This card, I'm debating going up on him. He has been crucial in a lot of matchups. Makino, she's fine. She's a 2K. I think I played this card once the whole weekend. It was mostly just 2K counter, searchable for Dodon. Otama is our girl. 2K, deals with the board, just a 1-drop, very important in the deck, very, very helpful. So some Straw Hats, we got Chopper, Standard, Nami, Standard, 3 Dodons, just 3 Dodons, so Dodon herself isn't searchable. We didn't want to overload on that, and it is more expensive than a lot of the other searchers at 2 cost. Card's still really good, hard to find space for that 4th one though, and also make sure all of the other searchers are hitting live. For Brooks, this card's insane. It's effectively free and a 2K counter and increases your Straw Hat. That's really, really important. Next, I got 3 Rush Zoro. So A debate that I was having before the event was Rush Zoro versus the Starter Zoro. Um, so Starter Zoro will be more effective in the Whitebeard match because he does get a little bit bigger. You don't always just want to attack with 5. But the 5 was very relevant in a lot of my matchups. I had fought against 5 Kinemons in Swiss, and I beat all 5. The Rush Zoro is really helpful there. I think if I had to do it over again, I think I would only have 2 Rush Zoros, and I would go with 2 of the starter Zoros, and I'd go over the card I'd swap. And actually, I'll just go over it now. Is this card I would swap to a starter Zoro as opposed to these 2. So I'd have 2 Rush Zoros, 2 starter Zoros. Luffy was fine. The blockers are pretty light in the current format, so the not being able to be blocked is not that relevant. You're really just looking for big numbers. Effectively, he was a 4th Rush Zoro, but honestly, I think getting the extra power would have been more relevant in most of my matchups. And then finally, we did finish off with 4 Vistas. This card super clutch every matchup. You want to be able to deal with the board, combos with the Otama, combos with the Gordon. Another reason why I would probably run another Gordon, maybe even over like a jet pistol or something. Just making sure that you hit that critical mass of everything that you need. Vista with Gordon can kill some really terrifying threats, even 6Ks. And being able to cycle this with Law, that's where this deck will gain board advantage. So I fought against, like I mentioned, 5 Kinemons. The main thing in a lot of those matchups was being able to starve them for cards. So they would, a lot of the modern Kinemon lists don't run Nekomamushi, and they don't run Izo or they don't play their Izos, and they'll use them for counters. So instead of being able to attack my board, they're attacking me, giving me some cards in hand, and then I'm able to attack their board back. Being able to go, that's where Vista and the Otama and stuff really comes important, where you can just kill off their board and you don't have to give them like any kind of way of getting back at you. So once you can kind of gain board control, you've kind of stabilized the match. One of the important things you really want to do is put them in a spot where they can't just take a whole turn off to play Odin, because if they play Odin, obviously that guy's going to be scary on the crackback, but if you can make it so if they play Odin, they're going to lose 3-4 life, because you have a 6K, a 5K, a 5K out.
You already starved their hand.
Exactly, and you're going to starve the hand. So anytime they've got like some small attacks, this is where those Rush Zoros really came into play, where we're just attacking just on even numbers and just trying to make sure that their hand gets really willed down. Now my other matchups, I had 2 Whitebeards. This is where this law came into play. We pretty much just stall out the game as long as we can, watch the Whitebeard kill itself due to the effect each turn. And then when the final turn comes, even if they have a Whitebeard in play and they're pumped up, we just crank one of our biggest supernovas, untap them, do it again. Get in there for...
Essentially turn yourself into a kid.
Exactly. Yeah, we're turning into a kid, but on our guys, and we're untapping for only 2 by playing this with Law's effect.
Nice.
So we really get in for some big numbers. Usually it's like 12 to 14K twice in a turn, and they don't usually have blockers. If that doesn't seal up the game, it at least puts them in a spot where as long as you don't die in the crackback, you're getting it next turn.
Gotcha. So for those that want to pick up the deck, what do you recommend?
Practice. Honestly, fishbowl like your early lines. Make sure you know how you're getting to 5. Save your cards. A weird play that people don't do often enough in the deck is like bouncing your big law with either another one or with your leader effect. This blocker law being able to be bounced with your leader or another one itself, really important, because you need to get this guy to be able to re-enable all of your put in play effects.
So shambles as much as
Exactly. Shambles, but also just trigger those put in play effects. So you don't want to take any turns off of not using your leader effect. You only have 4 life. It's pointless to play this deck if you're not going to use the effect.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I truly commend you for doing very well, man. I rooted you all the way. I wish we both could have top 16, but you know, it happens. We'll get there for sure.
Next time.
Any shout outs you have for anybody?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to my boy Pac-Man,
Yeah,
but
I know.
all the boys back home in Georgia, and you know, just anybody who's been along the way, the rice fields, everybody, love it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the deck profile. It's always good talking to you, and we'll talk some more for sure. All right, we're out of here, people. Gone.